afternoon, Mayor.
It's hot in here. All of a sudden the heat kicked on. Where did that come from?
It's you.
Yeah, it's cool back there. A couple things before we really get started. I want to congratulate Metro and President and CEO George Grenius, the board of Metro, staff of Metro. Great State of Metro presentation yesterday. Really an outstanding recap of what has happened at that agency over the last 3 years and the amazing turnaround that has taken place. And Chairman Garcia put 2 slides up in front of the audience. One, the last time there was a Metro referendum, which I think was 51-49, and then this recent referendum with support all across the region. We are working every day as a city, as a community, to make sure that we communicate with each other, we work together for the benefit of all of us in the future, this region in the future. And Metro has really exemplified that, and the turnaround of that agency under the new board, and many new board members over there, and their new president and CEO has been just outstanding. I want to congratulate Jack Drake, who had his official retirement celebration, Mr. Greenspoint. Jack's been around for a very long time in City Hall and out in the Greenspoint area. I want to wish him well. He's had a tremendous impact. And then finally, to congratulate publicly Sanjay Ram. Actually, his full name is Sanjay Ramabhadran, but we all call him Sanjay Ram. He was named one of 10 outstanding young Americans, and recently received that award after previously being named one of 5 outstanding young Texans. And so he's a great example of Houston's diversity, but also the fact that there's so many Houstonians who are engaged in community. So congratulations to Sanjay and to Jack Drake and to everyone over at Metro. And then a little back patting for the City of Houston. We continue to show up on national and international rankings where we never did before. It would be hard to get better coverage for the City of Houston than we have over the last couple of years. The recession is not yet over, but the most recent ranking is the Brookings Global Metro Monitor. Showed that Houston is leading the way in the U.S. Brookings rated the 300 largest metro areas in the world. Houston is in 40th place, the highest ranked American city based on gross domestic product. It's a huge jump from the 2007-2011 ranking where we were 194. Houston just continues to outperform the rest of the United States, and great things going on. The Global Economic Research Study can be found at www.brookings.edu. And then a request to everyone out there: the Department of Neighborhood's Volunteer Initiatives Program invites Houstonians to nominate a local hero for the Distinguished Citizen Service Before Self honors. The nominations deadline is December 28th. This is a national award, Citizen Service Before Self. It recognizes U.S. civilians who have sacrificed for others through a single act of extraordinary heroism at risk to one's life through a prolonged series of selfless acts. These distinguished honors are unique because they are presented to unsung heroes by Congressional Medal of Honor recipients. And the award ceremony is held in March in Arlington, Virginia. For nomination form and more information, go to citizenservicebeforeselfhonors.org or contact the City of Houston Volunteer Initiatives Program to find out more about how to nominate someone for this honor. Now, what's going on?
So today we had the first historic district pass under the ordinance that you pushed forward to amend. What's your view of that? is this a accomplishment? You know, what are your thoughts on the passage of the first one after the changes?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be using the historic preservation ordinance that much. We had captured many of the historic districts. I hope we use it, and this was a good test. It went forward as expected. I don't think there were any surprises in the process, and it had an overwhelming vote of city council. I hope more neighborhoods use it. The issue that came up today was the ordinance itself does not allow council members to amend boundaries. And that was deliberately put into the ordinance with the idea that this should be something that is done objectively, based on the needs of a historic district, based on the presence of contributing structures, and council will have, of course, the final vote, but council cannot redraw boundaries at the table, and there was a desire expressed by council members to do just that, but the vast majority of council said no, we're happy with the boundaries, and this is the ordinance that we passed, and we're going forward.
Yeah. Do you interpret the no votes as you know, a requirement to amend it going forward? The idea of retractions, you know, as mentioned, how do you interpret that?
Well, the majority of council members who voted against it have been opposed to all historic preservation ordinances and districts. So, you know, I am always interested in improving ordinances where there's a way to make an improvement, and I'd certainly be willing to listen to suggestions as they come forward, but I think you saw more a reflection of personal philosophy.
Mayor, the presentation that Greeny's made yesterday in regards to his remarks about the development and the progress of Metro, don't you think that reflects you and your leadership throughout his term, and your willingness to back him and give him the leeway that is needed for him to make the necessary changes to make that a phenomenal organizational growth and change?
I chose Mr. Greenius to head my transition team looking at transit for the region, but Mr. Greenius does not work for me. He works for the Metro Board. I appointed 5 new board members, and they chose a chair, but there have been some other new board members come into the mix as well. This board has united around fixing the long-standing problems of the agency. I couldn't be more proud of the progress they've made. Have they completed the job? No. But everything they have done has progressed the agency forward. And with these 3 lines of light rail currently under construction, once they get up and running, I think you're going to see Houstonians really change their minds about light rail transit. But I continue to remain convinced that buses are the workhorse of the system, and that Metro has to be aware of and responsive to all forms of roads, light rail, commuter rail, buses, paratransit, even making it more convenient to ride bicycles and get them onto these various transit methods. And so, and they have done that. It was a great recap of the last 2.5 years under George, but 3 years of real progress of the agency.
Mayor, you'll care to talk about the DOJ investigations, I guess, of the 6 cases HPD?
We are not under DOJ investigation. And I've got to clarify. The chief of police publicly asked DOJ to come in and review 3 cases. And DOJ said that they'd like information on 3 other cases. And so there's a targeted DOJ review of some specific cases, but we're not a broken agency, and we're not under investigation by the DOJ.
How do you feel about that they're looking at these 6 cases? Do you think there was something, do you think there are legitimate concerns about how HPD handled those cases, or?
No agency is perfect. I reiterate that the chief of police actually started this process by saying to the public that he was going to invite the DOJ in to look at how we handle these particular cases. This is about being a better agency, not being a bad agency.
What do you hope the DOJ would yield or not yield at the end?
I hope. I mean, I would hope that they would say that we handled them appropriately and they were just tragic accidents. The next best thing would be if they said, here are things that you can amend in your training or in your procedures that would prevent these things from happening in the future.
Parking meters on West Summer, are you surprised at that?
I'm a little surprised at the tag. I don't think that there's any council members that actually need any more information, but tagging an item to slow it down is a prerogative of council.
Very, parking authority, as well as the police department, dictates the longevity of any entertainment district. Is there any other entertainment district that you would like to see redeveloped, such as the Richmond area, or anything like that?
We're not creating entertainment districts. What we're trying to do is manage the impact of entertainment districts that spring up due to the marketplace. I've lived in Montrose for a long time. I remember how in the 80s when it actually wasn't just a place for adults to go for entertainment. We had miles-long traffic jams because we had teenagers from the suburbs gawking. I remember the Richmond Strip and how it rose and fell. We are not trying to create entertainment districts. We're trying to create a tool so that we can better manage the intersection between the businesses and the neighborhoods and the public that needs to travel these major thoroughfares. I do hope that taking some of the lessons learned from creation of this parking benefit district, which now has, or will have, I fully expect it to pass next week, 18 months to prove itself. We are not trying to create a one-size-fits-all model of this is what a parking benefit district looks like. What we're trying to do is solve problems. Unfortunately for Councilmember Cohen, fortunately for the city of Houston, because she's such an outstanding council member, she has a lot of these districts where there's tension. Westheimer, Lower Westheimer, the Westheimer Curve, the Rice Village area. And I am hoping that we can initiate the same type of stakeholder engagement that she managed through the process on Washington in these other areas, and they may come up with something completely different. Not necessarily a parking benefit district, maybe a traffic management plan or any of the above. I don't want to presuppose, but the goal is to solve problems, not just create a new ordinance. This is a particular answer to a particular problem on Washington Avenue, and I think it'll work very, very well.
Were you surprised that Washington Avenue came up with this to close Montrose, since Montrose was in this game a long time, much longer than Washington?
The problem, the issue with Washington Avenue is that, let me back up. Montrose has been a place where you have very active nightlife and residences in close proximity to each other for a very long time. The Washington Avenue corridor, it was really a sort of a retail or commercial wasteland for a long time. And you had an influx of bars and restaurants and nightclubs. At the same time, you had an influx of new residential construction right next to each other. So it's an acute situation that happened very, very rapidly. And this gives us an opportunity to respond to that circumstance out there with a unique answer. Having a parking benefit district really is not the answer to all of the other problems we have. Parking is an issue in any major urban area. So we just have to solve problems. I think this is going to be one excellent tool to solve problems. To the issue of are we going to suddenly put parking meters all across the city of Houston, I would just point out that the administration already has the ability to place parking meters. We do it strategically and judiciously where we believe it can help the properties abutting it manage traffic.
Well, and the resignation of Mr. Moran from the ARA department, is that related to any internal investigations into his or his staff's actions?
Alfred Moran did really an outstanding, I inherited Alfred Moran from the previous administration. And you can see by the folks who I kept on and the folks who I chose to replace that I set a very high standard for department directors. In the performance of his day-to-day responsibilities, Alfred Moran has far exceeded my expectations. And I think that he would be an asset to any private sector company that he chose to go back to. He is a very experienced turnaround agent. Came to the city from the private sector, he's going to go back to the private sector, so I wish him well.
But no comment on whether he was asked to resign for any reason or whether there were any internal findings that were related to his employment.
I did not ask Mr. Moran to resign.
Was he presented with any information that led him to believe that he would be if he did not choose to?
I say I did not ask Mr. Moran to resign. I am personally not aware of the total circumstances of Mr. Moran's life and his decision-making process. When a guy does a great job for the city and he says he wants to go and do something else, I'm going to wish him well. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Merry Christmas.
I will be back next week.